we will take our first break and come back to more storytelling from our readers.
Hi, friends. Hi. Hey. Squib, I feel you, friend, and the things going through. We're going to go through a little journey today, and I want you to pay attention to this journey because back in my day, when I was your age, I wrote the first couple in this series tonight. And then you're going to see how we've grown. And some are a little more current. And I hope you get to have a similar transition as to the feeling and the place that I'm at in my life now. Also, Christy, you sparked this because we were talking earlier about the things that scared us most in childhood. And that, for me, is my family. This one's called Family History. As a child in grade school, I remember walking recklessly and carelessly along the sidewalks, stepping on sidewalk cracks again and again, despite what my cheery blonde compatriot uttered. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Looking back on that dark time now, I've always regretted not listening to her. The greatest tragic flaw in humanity is a secret thought. In my case, afraid to love, afraid to truly be, afraid of risk, afraid of the consequences, afraid of anger, afraid of any argument, afraid to truly realize what love could be, having never seen it modeled for me. I'm not the type to protest when in danger, conditioned to suffer in silence. I've learned the hard way, when a woman fights her man, a woman is beaten. A lesson I'll never forget. Dark poetry engraved on my skin. He made our world a void, a black fury with a white powder which no logic could penetrate. Blinded by jealousy and the monster, for 5 years we were controlled. He changed my sunshine and rainbow's perspective, shifted my world into night, a rage so pure it's tangible, like bitter iron in my mouth. Grit your teeth, bite your tongue, don't worry about the taste of blood, tampering or interfering, stimulating any signs of change, or suggesting help will equate to naught, until the day my evil stepfather was caught. I boiled with laughter when they took him away to the psychiatric evaluation clinic via police escort on that fateful day. I remember emptying his wallets, seeking retribution in any way that I could, while the gist of my thoughts came to fruition. I didn't know the details, but I saw the whole thing, from abuse to the drugs to the supposed loves you thought has you suffering. No time to play the victim anymore, mommy. Way past time to grow up now. Time to listen to some of the pain you made us all endure. I won't start with any shit about being a child from a broken home because, hey, guess what? It seems like we've all been there, done that. That shit's in all of our histories. I don't think that it's suitable to be your only defense. We are all fucked up. Take some responsibility, some accountability for yourself and your actions. I remember the fights that you were too drugged up for. The lies and deceit, your defense and your cheating, the drinking and pills and smoking secretly, the way he rambled and raved while you groveled still sickens me. I remember other things too. We all know that if you wear a white shirt while eating spaghetti, you will inevitably get sauce on it. I have always believed in Murphy's Law. What they didn't tell me was that when your doped out mother overcooks the pasta of a druggy doped out Italian stepfather's meal and he starts to beat her over it, that the mixing cues of red and orange blood and spaghetti sauce will cause a wicked stain, even if you aren't wearing white. I remember the things that you thought it was worth for, the victorious race cars and times making scenes in public, and travel and crudely sexual behaviors and teaching, the travesty that was the two of you meeting. I'd be remiss if I were to say that everything wrong was healed that way. Though he was cuffed and carried out that day, his presence still lingered, and changes instilled went from bad to worse, as you had only left me left to balance your world. How dare you lean on me when I needed guidance? Try to make me your friend in those years still young, nearly last of my innocent ones, bestowed with your adult confidence. Not only could you not create that for me, but you lost your daughters. Both of us, in this way. Don't you see? Grow up, Mom. Move on from the skeletons in your closet. We all have rainy days in this grown-up way gone wrong. So that's a little bit about my family history. Just a wee bit, and it fucked me up. It fucked me up. I considered myself broken for a very, very long time. And it's only recently, in the ancient old age of my 30s, that I'm starting to feel a little bit different. But at this point in time, freshly away from her and that portion of my life, I felt like lime Jello. Sometimes my life feels like lime Jello, not vodka infused as most of these college students enthuse. I'm green like I want money, stuttering around desperately with no way out to beg or to choose. I'm the one who will lose, singing a song chock full of blues. But what can we do with a generation who doesn't have a clue? A battalion of Southwest savvy teenagers and toddlers to boot, tuned in to be anything but tuned out. They program us from the very start until someday they employ us, then they destroy us, all disguised with reassurances that they are simply just here to be enjoyed by us. One lesson over these 18 years of life I've seen again and again: nothing is ever simple. We stretch our wings and stretch our limits and seek and explore to find anything that's anything worth fighting for, when it's right here all around us. Yet somehow we seem to ignore the reasons why living isn't just some stupid fucking chore. Our lives are wrapped up in schedules, to-do lists, timetables, deadlines, difficulties innumerable. Our loved ones grow lonely and unnoticed. Our forests break and tear and burn. Our wildlife under supposed protection, then it's gone like they were never there. And you people, you, and I must admit myself too, just go on and on, as if this isn't a world that's gone wrong. Encasing us. Our walls grow stronger, ever more structured to keep us stuck within from what is without. They capture us from the first millisecond we flock through the front doors. Film lights blinking with security guards, and who knows who will be watching it play out. Land of the pot people. Front row seats. Come, relax, take a seat, kick up your feet, rest that spineless, Jello-like spirit of conviction, and see how the world has come to be as a result of all of these actions. Entering to the room, and presently. Thank you. We love you too. So I got angry in college. Very angry. And then I wanted to kill myself a lot. I did try suicide a few times growing up, younger, and it didn't work out. I was a failure at that too. Kind of glad about that now. Like, whoo, yay, 100% failure rate. But again, that was a point, there was a time where I felt like I was always wearing masks. Gazing upon my naked body in the mirror, I traced the scars of countless personal battles. Looking back upon that time of repression and depression, I can't help but wonder why it seems so necessary. I marred my flesh in so many ways, little pains, taking time to hide cuts and burns for days until they faded away. I did not sacrifice my skin for attention. I took the greatest care to choose the places that wouldn't easily show. It was more of a way to try to alter my perception of the bold, sad-eyed girl staring at my reflection. I just didn't understand how such a rose could bloom into pearly skin and soft curves and still feel as if she was just torn by thorns. I cut behind my mask to find balance, and alas, it was always a fruitless task. Thank you, friends. Thank you. I'm taking advantage of our long-form content feel tonight. And now we've got one from just last year. This one's called Being Present. And I believe I've actually performed it before here, once or twice. There are so many times in my life when my mind just races a mile a minute faster than my last name, and I find myself being swept away with a sea of anxiety, my thoughts crashing in waves of the Almighty. If, what then? Head in storm clouds, a turbulent sea, rather than just taking a moment to learn and to breathe, learning to care, to swim slowly, one doggy paddle at a time. To avoid the murky waters, I tend to focus on the distant shore, that effervescent bigger picture, seeking validation, an undeniable pile of proof that I'm not the beast that I think of myself as, and it always leaves me hurting and demanding more. To do more than just dip my toes in, I want to dive head first all the way in, immersing myself in the now, a now that is objectively stellar, cultivated day by day to be one wild and worthy adventure, a story worth revisiting. Deep breath. Let's take the plunge. Be present in your ventures. Thank you. And the finale, the last finishing note, this one is actually not something that was written by me, and I can't find the original author, so sorry, I don't have credit, but I reposted it, and a friend of mine said that she had to double check because it sounded like my voice. And I was like, oh, thanks, Diana.
Oh, hi,
It didn't
Diana.
have a title.
She is.
Yes, hi, friend. But I am calling it Ice Cream and Sunsets. I said one night that life felt heavy, too heavy, like carrying something I couldn't put down, but I couldn't explain either. I said I didn't know my dream, didn't even know what I wanted, didn't even know who I was anymore. But it wasn't a dramatic moment. No tears, no silence, no breaking in half, just me rambling again, letting words spill into the air the way I do when the quiet feels too loud, the way I do when I'm trying to convince myself that I still make sense. And then he said something so simple, I almost missed it. Like it slipped through the side door when I wasn't looking, but when it landed, the world slowed just enough for me to notice. You are gentle and kind, thoughtful and sweet. You like ice cream, and you love the color of the sunset, not orange, just the orange of the sunset. I laughed at first because how could that be an answer? I wanted something bigger, something that sounded like a revelation. But then I realized you weren't answering the question that I asked. You were answering the question underneath it, the one that I didn't know how to say out loud. And somehow you reminded me I didn't need to know the whole map of my life. Not the grand plan, not the purpose I kept chasing. Maybe it was enough to be seen in the little things, the soft things, the pieces of me that I'd forgotten were still mine. It's strange how someone naming you in fragments can feel more whole than you felt in years, how being reminded of ice cream and sunsets can hold more truth than all of the answers that you've been reaching for. I don't know my dream yet. I don't know who I'll be tomorrow, but for a moment I knew who I was. Not because I'd figured it out, because someone else saw it clear enough to hand it back to me. That someone could name me when I couldn't name myself. That someone could find me even when I thought I was lost. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like an answer, and that felt like enough. I hope one day someone says it to you too. I hope you have someone who reminds you of the little things, the small and ordinary truths that are already yours. I hope it makes you smile the way the orange in the sunset does. And I hope it feels like enough for you to be recognized for the you that you already are.